Hey there everybody, Popontop here. Welcome back to more Skyrim Special Edition mods. Today, we have one of the best overhauls I ever heard of in my entire life for Skyrim, and we finally got it here on console. It's been on PC for a little bit now already for Special Edition, but this is Ordinator, Perks of Skyrim. This mod completely overhauls how perks work. Completely changes up everyone, adds a bunch of new perks to the game, and just makes the game more fun to play. You could do a whole new playthrough based on Ordinator perks as the only mod you put on, and your playthrough will be vastly different because of it. So we're going on one-handed here. So what happens is 25% more damage. That's a basic thing that you get in here. But you can get like Disciplined Fighter, reduces it costs power attacks by 15 points. When wielding a one-handed weapon and an empty other hand, attacking with the weapon while the opponent is winding up their attack or drawing a bow, deals 40% more damage and delivers a critical strike. What the god? Like this is some in-depth shit. Okay, so if you're dealing a one-handed weapon and you don't have another weapon, so like you just have a single dagger, a single sword, axe, whatever, one-handed weapon in one hand, nothing else in the other hand. If the opponent starts to attack you, or like winds up to attack you, or they have a bow, or they're drawing a bow, they're taking their bow out. You do 40% more damage and you get a critical on that. There's all kinds of things. Bleed like a lamb, attacks with war axes do additional 1 point of damage per second for 3 seconds to living targets. When the bleeding stops, they take damage equal to 50% of their health they lost while bleeding. I mean, and we get some in-depth stuff like crosscut. Unblocked regular attacks with the sword increase the damage of your power attacks with the sword against this target by 25% for 4 seconds. So this is all like very complicated. This is something you have to go through, and this is like it's been overhauled to be complicated, but Skyrim kind of treats you like an idiot. No offense to Bethesda for designing it that way. It's good for people to get into. People can understand what they're supposed to be doing, understand the perks they're supposed to take if they want to take them. This is if you're like, you got to actually know what the fuck you're doing and what you have going on. I mean, we can go through all different kinds of perks here. Besides just one-handed, it literally overhauls every entire perk in the game to make it better. So we can have restoration spells. Cast restoration spells 35% less magicka, and restoration spells are 0.25% more powerful per level of restoration. So, for example, if your restoration level is at 20, you would get 20 times 0.25, which is 5% more powerful restoration spells for this rank. Tome Mini Pages teaches 18 different restoration spells. Each fortifies a single skill by 5 levels for 120 seconds. You what, mate? Like, there's some stuff in here, man. When you enter combat, you rapidly regenerate points of magicka equal to half your restoration skill level per second for 10 seconds. The regeneration does not stop while casting. So this spell essentially means you can, as soon as you get into combat again, you can start healing yourself again because you're probably like a healing, like warrior type character, you know, whatever you want to float your boat with. So if your restoration skill, it has to be 20 with this. So you would rapidly regenerate 10 magicka points per second for over 10 seconds. That's 100 magicka you get back as soon as you enter combat every time. That's fucking amazing, right? And some of these are gonna make the game easier, obviously, right? Because like they're really good perks. But there's so many of them that you're never gonna be taking them all. So it really requires a more specialized taste. So the destruction has the same thing. Destruction spells cost 35% less magicka, and destruction spells are 0.25% more powerful per rank of destruction. Dual casting a destruction spell powers increasing effectiveness and cost. That's just a base thing. That's a boy. Look at that. Destruction projectiles interrupt targets that are casting a spell. Does not work on massive targets. I believe that's in the base game as well. Maybe not. It's hard to tell sometimes, but like there's some really deep ones. Like lightning goes way deep in here. Ice, crystallize and shatter, and iced earth. Dual casting specifically frost spells all the way to flyer. Like Conflagration, fire spells ignite the ground underneath the target for 30 seconds. The burning ground deals 8 points of damage per second. Pyromancer Ascension, dual casting 6 fire spells in combat, unleashes your power for 20 seconds. Fire spells and effects are 50% more powerful and cost half magicka, and you leave the ground burning in your wake that does 30 damage per second. This will only occur once per, I imagine, day. It doesn't actually even get to finish because there's so much going on there. But yeah, as you see, this is with every perk. Every perk is overhauled. This is a completely different perk game we're talking about now. Look at the speech, okay? So sell items for 10% more, that's normal. You can bribe guards to ignore crimes. Shouting restores points of health, magic, and stamina equal to your shout cooldown in seconds. You gain speech experience when shouting based on your shout cooldown. So shouts are now part of your speech. Shouting summons up a divine wind, granting 30% extra. Oh my god! And then all this other stuff. Irresistible dance now also forces. We got insert. Irresistible dance can perform in combat to force the two nearest enemy people within 50 feet to dance spellbound, preventing them from acting or reducing their. So yeah, speech is like a really dope tree now, where you like actually like control people with your voice. Pickpocketing. I mean, I could go into this with. I could just like literally spend like an hour-long video going through each one of these perks and be like, holy shit! Like think of that in concept, like what you would do with that. I mean, like I said, the runs here are so much more specialized. Like I said, there's so much more stuff to do. Like let's try to find some interesting ones. Like sneaking is 15-30% more effective. Sneak success depends on visibility. Sneak skill level and distance. Demolition Job. All destruction spells and scrolls are 3% more powerful for level of sneak if the target is not detected in the caster. So, sneak magic. What? Like, that's so crazy. This is a crazy level thing. Spot detection. Grants the spot detection power. Once a day, outlines all humanoids within 150 feet that are detecting you with a green glow. Lasts 180 seconds. What? Like, that's a completely new thing. You won't trigger pressure plates. That's obviously been in the game, right? Tripwire also reduces. Oh, tripwire is like a whiplash. So tripwire grants a tripwire power. At will places a tripwire in front of you for 120 seconds. It snaps when tripped, knocking all targets hit to the floor. So these perk trees are so advanced that you don't even have to like go into multiple different skills. You can just kind of kill everybody with the way that you want to get it done. You can go to skill, make tripwires, detect your targets. You don't really need to focus on anything else besides sneak if you want to be a sneaky character, because there's so many more perks in there. As you see there, also want to mention at the top, I have 66 perks to increase because that's level 67, so I have 66 perks. So when you first load up this mod, it's going to take away all your perks, because obviously you want to try out some of these new things, and so you can very much easily do that. If you already have a high level character, you still get all the perks. You don't have to start a new game with this mod or anything like that. If you guys want to download this mod, and I highly recommend you do, because I really think this totally changes up the way that the game plays, and there's a lot of really cool things on here that I can't even show off, and I can't even describe them all properly. If you guys would like to do that, make sure to check out the top link in the description. There'll be a link there to the Bethesda.net page. You can download this mod for yourself. If you enjoyed the video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you will like rating down below. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe so you can check out more videos from me. And pretty much other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day, or whatever it may be, and I'll see you in the next episode.